Party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your main man, Uncle Freezie, in the building. Salute. And vibes and stuff on a weeknight. Oh, is that for me? Is that for me? All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me have one more though. This is Miss Mocha helping me get through something, y'all. No, I got something. So thank y'all for coming through, rocking with us on vibes and stuff on a weeknight. It's a special occasion, man. I got my brother in the building. The R&B sensation DSJ is in the building. He gonna rock with me tonight. But not only that, we got a super duper special surprise for everybody. We are gonna, man, this is fun. I don't even know how to start it, but let me do this. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Quick Holloway, True Music, Delano Steele Jr. They are QTD. What's good, everybody?
What's going on?
Surprise! Surprise, everybody!
Boy, someone told me change my job to Quick Temper before I got on here, but Quick Holloway it is.
Quick Holloway it is, man. I'll change it, man. I'll change it, man. Ain't nothing to it. Yeah, man. Yo, man, it's been, man, listen, man, all of us together at the same time.
At the same time.
Man.
And it's must have aligned the perfect way today, huh?
Man.
Yeah. I just happen to be off.
Oh, you talking about from one of your job?
Yeah, you know.
How many?
42. I only get about 7 minutes of sleep.
Oh, man.
They said 7 minutes.
He's actually asleep right now.
He's actually sleeping right now, right?
Yeah, right. Every time I don't speak, that's a nod.
Right. This man here.
Hey, and everybody, listen. So today we are together because QTD has been working on some stuff. A project. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long road to even get to where we are right now. And so we're going to talk about that some tonight. We're going to talk some backstory tonight. We're going to talk inspiration. We're going to talk future plans. We're going to just chop it up. Right, we're just gonna chop it up.
Yeah.
Let me first start by asking you guys. So, how did you guys meet?
On a humbug. So, me and True know a mutual party, and through that mutual party, she set up a meeting between me and True. She never showed up. Me and True ended up pretty much, hey man, we're here.
Introducing each other to each other.
Yeah, we pretty much had to introduce each other to each other. From there, through True, I met Steele, and it was like a lock from the jump.
Right. So it was a lock from the jump, but what really made you guys feel like y'all can work together and enjoy it?
I would say I think all three of us are like big on energies and just kind of like vibrations from other people. And I think just when we came together, just the energy was right to begin with. And then when we started doing the music together, the musical chemistry was even on a whole nother level, and so it just makes sense,
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
So what inspired you? So what inspired you to get into production?
Actually, I've always been like, I've always been into just music, period. Ever since I was young, I started playing the piano when I was like 7. And my pop brought me one and was like, here, learn how to play this. And so I would just listen to the radio and kind of play things by ear. And around about 10 or 11 is when I started wanting to create my own music, and but so like through all those times, like my dad was in a band. He actually had a band. We used to perform at riverfront fairs in Newburgh, New York, down by the fair, by the river and all that, but by the Hudson River. And when I got a little bit older, I got introduced to the studio aspects of things, and that's what kind of brought the producer out of me.
Okay. How far did your pops make it in music? How far did he go? Did he take it as far as he wanted to? Or
No, he didn't take it as far as he wanted to, but he definitely had the potential to. Like, he was in Germany for a while performing. He played the drums for the band. He was a drummer.
Okay.
And yeah, he's actually played drums for the Zap band. He stood in for their drummer a few times and stuff like that. But he never made it to where he wanted to go though.
Right. Probably because life got in the way, right?
Absolutely, because life be life, and that's what they said.
Right. One of the things when I listen to y'all music, one of the things I get is the vibe from the three of y'all is so diverse. At the same time, it kind of fit like the hand in glove type thing. I don't know if groups nowadays or even 20 years ago kind of have been successful at doing the things that y'all are doing with original music. For instance, there was a group, I don't know if you remember this group from a long time ago. It's a group called City High.
Yeah.
Where there was like a mixture of a bunch of different flavors.
Yeah.
But they were kind of sample heavy, like borrowed music from all these different things. And what happened is they existed in a sample era. And I don't know if they had the ability to stand out in that sample era. Now, this is my question for Steele. How can QTD stand out in a saturated music environment with all original parts of music, the original lyrics, the original production, the original thoughts? What separates QTD from other groups that tried and may have not been as successful as they wanted to be?
I think there's a element of creativity and authenticity that sometimes overlap each other. Like, somebody will take the approach of authenticity over creativity, and somebody will take creativity over authenticity. I think we just found the perfect way to merge the two together,
right?
So that way it makes sense while also being fantasy based. You know what I mean? Like, here's the reality of it, but it can come off like grandiose. And I feel like in terms of just doing it that way, in that element, you'll get not only the opportunity to create music that everybody can relate to, but you can also feel like I'm living in the element of suspense, make believe, wonderment. You know what I mean? So it's not like just a hold on one.
Are you saying the Stevie Wonder element that people swing and miss with that Stevie Wonder element and I don't know if they swing and miss because people can't relate. I think there is a swing and miss element because artists don't have enough content to pull it off, right? Like, they may be able to do it in one song, or they may be able to do it in a couple of songs, maybe an album, but then they disappear, and then there's a disconnect. There's not the relation thing, and from where you guys are in a grassroots element. And speaking of, if you're watching this on YouTube, Consider subscribing to the channel. Also, QTD has a crowdfunding, crowdsourcing page on Patreon. You see it right there on the screen. Is patreon.com/QTD music. Check them out. Consider helping the guys out with any number of things. They have a lot of content. Trust. They have a lot of music. They have a lot of music, right? And all of it's diverse. So if you want to be a part of the movement, consider being a part of the movement on Patreon, contributing and helping these guys establish themselves in an industry that's basically set up for real artists to not succeed at that level of maybe artists that are not talented. True. You notice how I was really safe about calling people whack in the industry, right?
Right.
I was really
well.
careful about how the industry has industry plants, and you wonder how this person got in the game and they're
Right.
trash, right?
Right.
And then you guys come along and you have all these different elements of great music, man, and thought. One of the things that I enjoy about you guys' music is that it's not overwhelming in that wasted energy sense. Right. It's very esoteric in that if you have listened to a DSJ song, a Delano Steele song before, you know what to expect, but you also know it's going to be original and not like any else that he did. So you can become a fan without being nervous about what you're getting. To borrow a term I heard heard before, DSJ basically does true music. No pun intended. Right? No pun intended.
Slightly intended.
Or slightly intended.
Just a little bit.
It's well, maybe slightly intended.
Slightly.
So quick, what would separate QTD from other groups that maybe are looking to take the same path you guys are taking?
I mean, DSG hit almost our creativity. We bounce a lot of ideas off of each other. Like, and I ain't gonna say heavy, but we bounce a lot of ideas off each other. Like we so close knit and just tight that we know that it's either you can do it this way, you can do it that way, and not feel no type of way about what the other one has to say about it.
Right.
Like it's just one of the like biggest parts of it. Like whatever, we all have different ears, so it's like boom, you might hear this, you might hear that. Okay, cool, swing it this way. And I think that's what separates us the most, our camaraderie. Like we can just vibe.
That's right.
Okay.
And stuff.
And things, right? Vibe and stuff. And things. So true music. How does failures of the past affect how you approach QTD's entrance in the R&B, soul, hip hop marketplace?
I'm actually grateful for those failures because it kind of gave me because with those failures came lessons. And so now, like, with this endeavor, we kind of got like almost like a head start, or we kind of got like an idea of which lane we need to take based off of the mistakes we've made in the past, or even like mistakes that I see other people, because we like to do a lot of research on the things that we try to involve ourselves in.
Right. Right. So what type of failures can you point to directly that you would say impacted how you approach 2025?
Definitely understanding that you have to know who you're doing business with before you do business with them. You know, so you don't put yourself in predicaments to be locked in a certain situation that you don't want to be in.
Okay.
You know, that's one of the biggest ones.
Okay. Okay.
Paperwork.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Always read. Always read.
And from a creative space, I think some failure may come from taking chances artistically.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
But I feel like that's what makes an artist, though, is like, you know, kind of bending the rules a little bit, you know. And
Right. 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 And sometimes what I've noticed over the years is that artists that stay the same despite the changing ear and taste of the music listener, sometimes they either fail or get left behind. And so as an artist, and I am not, Chat, I am not an artist and I don't pretend to be. I'm not in the music business or any of that stuff. I just find this group of fellows to be fascinating. And so we're jumping in at the beginning of their journey. And one day they're going to be huge. And we can point back to these moments where these guys were not in front of 10,000 people and say, look at this archived footage, maybe 10, 12 years down the road, we can do a documentary using some of this footage about how in 10, 12 years when these guys are maybe doing a farewell tour or doing a wrap up somewhere, and we can point back to these days right here when these guys, everything they thought about was just music, right? It's just one of those things. I want to point out too that there have been a lot of artists that may have been more popular than y'all right now. I'm talking about at this point,
mm-hmm.
and they swung. Y'all remember the group Christian? Y'all remember them?
Yeah, because I was full of smoke at some point.
Yeah.
That name
Right.
sounds familiar.
right.
420 friendly.
420 friendly. Right.
Yeah, I know you're talking about that.
And so there are groups that took steps and maybe their sound wasn't right for the time, or maybe their sound was too perfect for the time and it sounded prepackaged, like a group like Damien Dame. They came out the same time as TLC.
Right.
Yeah,
and it sounded like they were so similar. You're talking a group like Jade that came out at the same time as SWV, right?
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
And so tempered, what separates QTD from other groups? Like what's the main thing? And DSJ, I want to set you up with a question. I'm going to ask while Quick Tempered answers that. I want to put a bug in DSJ's ear. Like, DSJ, what's y'all secret sauce? I want you to think about that while Quick Tempered answers this question.
I mean, the secret sauce, I could honestly say the secret sauce to us,
right,
I think, is daily communication. We communicate daily with each other. We're always running ideas by each other. I think once we find one thing, we share it amongst each other. So that level of communication, you kind of get to know, like, okay, what this person is thinking, their personalities, what songs might end up meshing with that personality as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the secret sauce. I think our daily communication and just who we are as individuals help out in that situation.
Okay.
He hit that right on the number. What make us different and stand out? Honestly, we don't sound like anybody else. We definitely like have our own.
How much does experience play in that though?
A
Life
lot.
experience.
A lot.
Okay.
Mhm. Tremendous.
It's like a
The
big.
element, yeah.
Right.
It does. And like DSJ said, we know how to bounce off of each other, not to it's our goal to not sound like anybody else. That's
Okay.
like a emphasis on what we like. Nah,
So,
we sound like such and such. We ain't with that. So no.
so how does being totally original, how does balancing being totally original and taking inspiration from legends and people that inspired you keep you in a lane? How difficult is that? Like, how difficult is it to be to value the contributions of a Stevie Wonder, but then also want to be a separate artist? How difficult is that?
I think it's I don't think it's very difficult because I feel like um one of the biggest things that I love about us is that we do this because we love it. And one of the biggest also to go along with that is the fact that we do the music that we do it for us. We don't do it for the listener. You know what I mean? I feel like from a business standpoint, sometimes people forget that consumers don't really know what they want until it's put in front of them, you know.
Right.
And I feel like that's also kind of to expand on what Quick was saying, what sets us apart from other people because we're not chasing trends. You know, we're doing what we love, we're doing what we feel.
So you're looking to make timeless music.
Correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think also too that there's as the saying goes, know thyself.
Mhm.
I think with self-awareness and self-reflection, you can take a look into the past and you can get inspired by some of yesterday's acts without necessarily trying to mimic yesterday's act.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can listen to something and okay, that sparks an idea for something else.
Right. Are you talking about like walking that October London line? Everything he does, he looks like somebody from the past, but then he creates original music. Is that what you're?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Just like that.
like for instance, okay, for me, like Hood Goddess is that's my nod to LL Cool J's Roundaway Girl.
That's your best joint too, in my opinion.
And I feel like, yeah, and I appreciate that. And I feel like, yeah, it's in terms of the content, it's the same, but there's nothing that ties Roundaway Girl to Hood Goddess.
Right. Right.
So,
Mhm.
Right. Right. Yeah. The dude that's talking at the end, I don't know who that dude is, but he needs to get on more people's stuff.
Oh man, you
Yeah,
ain't
who
heard
that dude
nothing.
is. I don't
You
even
ain't
know.
heard nothing yet.
Okay.
He's actually the one on the end of Leeches.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
and,
just so
Okay.
happens to be True's brother.
Yeah. Shout
and
out to
now
True's
here's the
brother. Wherever
funny
he
story.
at.
I don't know
His pipe
if I
burning. We talk about him. He don't even know it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we ever got a chance to expand on that. Like that's honestly how I met True. I met True through his brother who I actually work with
Okay.
at a Goodyear.
Okay.
And I don't remember how we got in the conversation of music, but once we got into that conversation, I let him hear something that I was working on conceptually. And the biggest thing for me at that time was not having a place to record.
Right.
So at that point, you know, he introduced me to True. Then it was just a matter of, okay, well, let's just lock in and just work on some stuff. Next thing you know, me and True became like brothers right then and there. Like it was almost like, you know,
right.
Two minds just kind of connected and okay, I get that. I see that. I hear that. You know what I mean? So
where were you but in terms of an artist, where were you going with your artistry? Like, what is your, for instance, I know guys that rap have a place that they want to go. Or, I'm sorry, let me restate. Guys that rap have a place that they want to be, and they don't always know how to get there, right? So they try different things, but they have a goal in mind. They just don't know the path to it. R&B singers or singers, I always feel like they want to be where the person is that they're singing to is, right? And I know that sounds like really esoteric, but it's not really that straightforward. It's more of a, I find singers like to have some type of spiritual connection with the listener on some level, right? And there's a appreciate my ability, appreciate my creativity, right? And appreciate this project, right? But DSJ, let me ask you this. What are those for you when you look at the sheet, when you look at the music and you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna sing. What
Well,
where do you get internally in order to get there and then ensure that you reach the listener at that place that you want to reach them at?
well, sound is everything to me. Sound dictates what the topic of discussion is going to be. So normally I wait for the beat to come, and once I get the beat, then I'm able to craft exactly where I want to go. If it sounds bouncy, if it sounds uplifting and vibrant, then that's the direction I want to go in. If it sounds melancholy, um, then let me go ahead and talk about a heartbreak. And normally that's what I use to determine what the song will eventually be about.
Okay. What happens when you and others, or you and the group may have um a different vision for that moment, or a different, not a different vision, I'm sorry, a different vibe for that moment?
It's a conversation. I think once we hear the beat, or once we get together, um, a lot of times it's just like, okay, this is what I hear.
Okay.
And it really does come down to that. Like, and normally I'm like the first one with something, because it's like, okay, I'll hear something and like immediately, because of where the sound takes me.
Okay.
Oh, that's where we should go.
Okay.
And if there is a conversation where, okay, well, I was thinking this, okay, let's meet in the middle, because there's always going to be some level of compromise with the music, because the most important thing, no matter what we do, it's the music. The music is always going to be the basis, the end all be all.
Okay. So quick temper. What challenges do you guys face as a group that you feel like hinder you from reaching that place that you want to be?
Nothing outside of resources. That's
Okay.
probably just it. Everything else we do just fine with.
Okay.
The resource would be like our biggest thing, trying to juggle everything because it's just us.
Okay. Okay. In resources.
I hate that word.
Yeah.
Boy, that word.
Now, but you know,
Resources.
I think honestly too, like I think time and space. Sometimes it really just boils down to opportunity. We all have different work schedules, so we try to monopolize as much time as possible, but we're not, like, even right now, we're not living in the same states. Like, Quick is in VA right now. So coming to North Carolina, where we're at right now, isn't as easy as, okay, well, let me just go hop in the whip and do that. Now, when you have a family, you have other, you have other, obligations and stuff like that. So
Right. 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 Yeah, man. That's interesting. That that the resource part of it, it seems to be the thing that stops every aspiring artist from being at that place where they want to be. And so how do you intend to overcome the resource hurdle? Like what do you have in place? Like what devices do you have in place in order to overcome that? Oh, that's a tough question, man, but
I mean, I have these, bricks of cocaine that I'm trying to push to get the reason. I'm kidding.
he's kidding. YouTube, don't ban us. He's kidding.
That's just a joke.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha
Ha,
ha.
ha, ha, ha.
I don't commit bank robberies and nothing like that.
I wasn't here.
But yeah,
And I would say definitely step one by having the Patreon in place.
the Patreon
Definitely can help you guys. And for those of us that hear you guys, like understand the struggle and appreciate your music. I think the least we can do is commit to $2 a month every month at a minimum, right?
Definitely, we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things where if I heard songs off your CD, I'll be thinking like, do I buy this or do I support their movement, right? And so initially, what I would do is purchase and then go back and link up and support and be a part of the fan base, the crowd funding, the crowdsourcing element of it. And I suggest others that are watching this that believe in things like dreams, right? And potential and talent, right? If you believe in words like that, then QTD is the group that you need to hitch your wagons to.
Absolutely.
Right? Because all a dream is a reality that has not come to pass.
That's right.
That's what a dream is. And so you want to, when it comes to dreams and reality, it's like everything else in life. The part you feed is the part that grows. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Every time.
Right. So let me ask y'all this just to change the tone, the tenor of the conversation just a little bit. So can one of y'all tell us about a crazy story that has happened to y'all? Something that's family friendly that y'all can share? Like something because we're not celebrities or artists or anything like that. So if y'all can share like a story, something that has happened to y'all, to give us some insight on the industry, give us some insight.
What you got, quick? I know I got a few of them.
I would let you start off because once he said industry, I was going what happened to us. I was about to say we was all out there chasing a dog one night, but
right.
I don't think y'all understand.
Stop the whole studio session.
The whole studio session to go find a dog.
Yeah.
But that's I will let you start though.
No, I think a funny story that I experienced was when I was younger. It was me and a partner of mine. We had like a little singing group together, and we ran into this guy who told us he was with Sony Records. And I mean, like, he came to the house, he met the parents, we had conferences, all this type of stuff, and he brought out contracts. And so my mom got to looking at the contract and just saw what was in the contract. Like even she laughed, like, what is this?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it turns out it was just some guy trying to come up with his own little personal stuff. But like,
Right.
I mean, he had the fake jewelry on,
Yeah.
you know, and everything. Like he was really trying to buy us out with
Right.
nothing.
What's his name? Dollar Bill.
Had to be Dollar Bill.
No.
Only acceptable name when they come like that. So it's everything about how people approach us is funny to me. Like everything. I don't know why they feel like we're, I don't want to say dummies, but green.
Right.
So we get a lot of, oh yeah, I can do X, Y, and Z, but there's no A, B, and C. Oh, wait a minute.
Mhm.
They need something up front all the time, right?
No, they
Yeah.
want something up front all the time.
Right.
They just want it, and it's like, hey, give me this, and I got that. No, that's not how that works. We're not going to fall for that.
Right. Right. Yeah, you can't have the fruit without the seeds. The
No.
seeds come first.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta true story. So I was talking to a bunch of men in a room in a conference, and I lectured about how the seed is important, but the environment is just as important.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I spoke to him about having fertile ground and the elements, right? And so I mentioned to him that the ground wasn't fertile, it was rock hard. But somebody had to go out there and till it and turn it over and get oxygen in that ground, right? Still wasn't ready for the seed, right? It had to rain on that ground and soften it up and turn it over and over and over. And then the day comes where you plant the seed. And as soon as you plant the seed and it starts to sprout and reach for the sky, right? You know how a seed is gonna sprout in two different directions. It's gonna try to go in the ground and secure itself, and it's gonna try to reach for the sky and get to the sunlight.
Right.
Right. And so while that seed is doing that, you see all time dogs will come by and poop on it, right? Dog come by and pee on it. It'll rain, storm, all that stuff. Sun will come and try to cook it, right? Sunlight just be beating that thing. But it turns out to grow and grow and grow. All those things that happen to it, that oxygen in the ground, all that tumultuous turning it over, that environment for that seed, and that fertilizer that dog put on that seed, and that water that dog put on the seed, and that storm that came down and almost washed that seed away, made that seed grow into something strong and sustainable that can not only replenish itself, but set up for generations. And so what I find is groups like y'all go through so much just to get to a point where you appreciate the hard soil and turning it over and putting oxygen in it, and people dumping on y'all or trying to take something away from y'all, all of that stuff on the journey. And so when you get to that place that you want to be, you can look back at all of that and be like, hey, nobody handed us anything. We had to go through all these different things. And now that we're here, we can kind of appreciate the journey. Whereas if somebody would have came along and just gave y'all such and such amount of money for y'all to do, say, one record, and you be in debt to the record company for $800,000, but you're like Jimmy Cozier. You have a hit that people recognize you, but you have to work the rest of your life to pay off that debt.
Yeah.
Just for that one song or so. And
That's
so
one of those mistakes we learned from right there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man.
Right.
So yeah, because nobody gives you anything in life for free.
Mm-mm.
Right? Like, cause when I noticed, even in getting advice to do this with y'all, a lot of people were looking to give me some treacherous advice. And so since I'm old enough to know what bad advice is, right? When I'm old enough to know what bad advice is. So when they tell me, I know what to keep and what to throw away. Like, what do I suggest to the fellas, and what do I just throw away as nonsense? Right? The thing that I learned on this journey, on this path. Salute to Cully in the building. Salute.
Shout out Cully.
Cully is the GOAT on that MCing, man. Cully's got a joint, Keys to the City, and he's got a lemon pepper freestyle out there on YouTube. It's fire. But to the point that I was making, man, when I speak to y'all, it sounds as if the only thing stopping y'all from being mega successful is resources, right? Getting out in front of people, because once people hear y'all, I don't know if there is a DSJ and I did a show. We did a show all 2024 where we just spoke about R&B. DSJ, remember that when we just did R&B late night? Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and so we talked about R&B, and we talked about the intricacies and the creative parts of R&B, and it's so vast and varying in it that some of it is so structured, like Blackstreet, so structured, so disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Even the runs and ad libs, you can see the ad libs were probably written down on paper. No, don't say it like that. Say
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have D'Angelo, who is the epitome of unstructured. Right. And so, and then in that chasm in between both artists, you have everybody in between. And so I think y'all kind of fit in that. So for the people that are new to QTD, how would you describe your sound? What is the QTD sound?
I would say, for me personally, like I've never liked to do that to myself, or like, you know, just to the music that we create, is to put it in a box. I feel like that's up to the listener. You know what I mean? Like, we do what feels good and sounds good to us, and if it resonates with the listener, that's awesome.
Right.
I think a lot of it is also, our music is reality based, so we try to find, like I said, creative ways to resonate something, a topic, a feeling with something that is normal in today's society or even yesterday's society. So anything that we do it with a certain level of understanding that, yeah, this music is for us, but we also understand how maybe somebody on the other side might feel. And so we want to make sure that with that level of understanding, it's our responsibility to tailor our music and structure our music to always be quality.
Right.
It's borderline like we have a sound that's for the listener's ears. Like, it's somebody that's going to relate to it. There's 4 people in the car, 3 people out the car going to relate to it, and that one person might just be like, I see where y'all going with this.
Right. So is your music to inspire or to relate?
Both.
Yeah, both. Definitely both.
50-50.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that's the approach when you pick up the pen, is to inspire and relate, or is it? And the reason why I asked that question is because I asked another artist this one time, and he told me that when he picks up the pen, he just pours out his soul in the pen, and then if it relates, right? If it informs, it informs, right? If it, tugs at a heartstring, it tugs at a heartstring. And so that was his thought on it. That's the reason why I asked that.
I was actually going to say something similar to that. For me, it just depends on the song,
Okay.
the record. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
However that particular record makes me feel, or that particular beat makes me feel. That's what it's. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Okay. Okay. All right. So when you start a project, how do y'all start a project? Do you start off with a topic and then vibe around that topic, or do you go and just do a bunch of music and then name a project after the collection of songs that you make?
Well, we haven't done any projects yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Because feel like projects probably should come later for us, since we just we're trying to build our fan base up, our supporters up. So
Right.
when they ask for a project, best believe they'll get one though.
Okay. So quick temper. Who is the artist that you'd love your dream collaboration? What artist out there, past or present, is your dream collaborator?
It's two.
See, we asked for one.
But they on the same level, so I can't say one.
Yeah.
LL for one, he was just my biggest inspiration growing up. I mean, I just liked everything about LL, from his loyalty to Def Jam to the ruggedness of the raps to the R&B mix-up mashup that he done did.
Okay.
And the other one is Tamia for some odd reason. I just like her voice.
Okay. Okay. So right. So still, if your dream collaboration, that one person, who would that dream collaboration be with? And it can't be Mario either. Don't tell me Mario.
Or Trey Songz.
Yeah.
Not too much on Trey.
Right.
Sexy red. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
My dream collaboration would actually be with Troy Taylor, and I respect more as far as the creative side, crafting from the very beginning, from the foundation of the beat maker.
Okay.
So I would rather work like with, as opposed to an artist, because I feel like synergy is just one of those things where if you have it, you can create countless joints.
Right.
But I also feel like I'm a foundational person, where I feel like once you establish a relationship, a rapport with the foundational, with that beat maker, with that producer, everything else will become as easy as possible.
Okay.
So for me, it would probably be like Troy Taylor, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Tim and Bob. So those are the guys that I would want to immediately collaborate.
What about singers? Any singers?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Lucky Day would be one. Rosander, Zay France. These are guys are independents, but like Zay France is a part of Neo's Compound. Rosander is a part. He's an independent artist, but he's a writer, and he's written for other people. Will Gittins, who writes for Chris Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the type of people that I could see myself collaborating with.
Okay. All right. True music. If you can choose somebody to collaborate with, singer, producer, your dream collaboration, who would it be with, past or present?
I'd probably say Nas, for real. I'd love to produce for Nas.
Mm.
I'd love to produce for those. Yeah.
Original, no sampling. Is that
No
what you're saying?
sampling, straight original.
Original.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Right. Okay.
Mario, yeah.
I feel like as an interviewer, y'all give me the vibe of y'all remember the Soulquarians? Y'all remember them? Remember that was a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
D'Angelo, Questlove.
and not to pigeonhole and be disrespectful. That's not what I'm doing. Is when I listen, like the joint that I heard tonight reminds me of a New Edition albums cut. Like you know how you ride some, like say you driving from Carolina to Virginia or DC, you throw in a New Edition album, and then you hear like the cuts on there. You like, man, this right here belong with New Edition. And for those that don't know who New Edition is, for me to say that they sent me a joint that reminds me of New Edition, I think that's the highest praise you can give anybody, right? Because first of all, New Edition is out of here. New Edition is upstairs, right? You ain't just gonna walk out. You just gonna put out some stuff and just be compared to New Edition.
That's true.
New Edition is in that realm of Jackson 5, and groups like that, beyond the Tonys and beyond the Troops of the world. When you're compared to New Edition, listen, when you're New Edition, you're beyond the Force MDs, right? You're beyond those groups. So when I say, hey, listen, man, this sounds like New Edition right here, that means whoever produced it at that moment, in that moment now, not always, whoever produced it is in that same realm of a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for that moment, right? Whoever sang had the impact of a Ralph Tresvant for that song in that moment, right? And the reason why I had to specify specifically, because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis might be the GOATs of this thing. They might be the greatest of all time. And Ralph Tresvant might be, in terms of a group leader, might be top 5 group leaders of all time, right? New Edition is so popular that they did a thing on BET and people are still requesting to see the New Edition biopic, the biopic that they did, still to this day. And that came out, what, 10 years ago?
Crazy.
10 years ago, and it's still highly sought after.
Yep.
And so the joint that I heard today, as soon as I heard it, I was like, yo, I gotta call this dude and tell this shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? So I heard it. Yo, I was like, I played it and I was like, no. And I listened to it again and I was like, I got to listen to it on the computer. So I listened to it on the phone first, right? You know, your email comes to the phone. And I was like, nah, what is this? I'm like, what? And then I listened to it on the computer, because I listened to it on the phone a couple of times. I was like, nah, man, come on. They pranking me, right? And then I listened to it in the computer because I have better speakers and have a better speaker setup, or more true speaker setup. You know, for
Right.
The music is more true through these speakers.
Right.
And so, no pun intended, of course.
You don't say.
But when I listened to it, I was like, yo, this right here might be the best thing that they've ever done. Right here. This thing might. And so I was like, nah, I ain't gonna tell him that, man. And then I listened to him. Then I listened to it again. I was like, man, fuck that. I'm gonna go call him and tell him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So when I listen to y'all, and I listen to all y'all stuff, and it all is dope in different ways. And DSJ will tell you, I don't give out compliments, man. Right?
Yeah.
DSJ been around. I've told people to their face that they whack.
I
Like,
feel that. I felt it from DSJ just now. The way he was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I told dudes, bro, I was
Yeah.
like, you need to get a job, bro. You're like legit told dudes like, and DSJ know me probably better than anybody. He knows that I don't do it that because I believe in honesty and being real with people, whether they like what you said in the moment or not. Be honest, and then there is always no room for shade.
that's right.
Right. So
that's
yeah. So quick tempered, what do you have before we wrap up, man? Just want to ask, what do you have on the agenda? What do you have headed your way?
what I have headed my way.
Headed our way.
Headed y'all way. I don't know. What could that be? I got Wet Dreams coming out February. I haven't picked a date yet.
Right.
And Wet Dreams and Private Room. Private Room is a joint song, but they're my next two.
Okay. Right. So how excited are you about your upcoming projects?
Say it again.
How excited are you about
I'm excited for it, man. I mean, what, y'all? When I sat on Wet Dreams for what? Probably about 6-7 months.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't entirely your fault though, because you had the lyrics, but I made the beat like way down the road and stuff.
I really say yeah, but I'm excited for it. Like it's out of my element, but it's still in my lane.
Okay.
Coming from hip hop, even though it's still hip hop, it's a different type of hip hop, in my opinion, in a way.
Okay. All right. So True Music. So what do you have coming on? What are you excited about? Are you looking to reach a new audience, or are you looking to captivate a new audience, or are you looking to give your long standing fans comfort food, basically?
I think a little bit of both. I just like one thing about like my music. I try to go from one extreme to the other each time I do something new. And so I got we got definitely the Private Room, the joint project coming out.
Right.
We got another one called Leeches, which is featuring DSJ and my brother GP.
Right.
And I'm really excited about that one. Just the response it's been getting just from the snippets has been really, really promising. So
right.
I'm looking forward to dropping that one.
We're looking forward to that too.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna front. The joint that you did, I can't remember the name of it, but the one that you did where you were in the street, it was like nighttime. You were in the street. I think it was like black and white.
I love you. Yeah.
Fire.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, fire. I couldn't and I apologize for not remembering the name of it, but yeah, fire.
Thank you.
Fire. I think that might be the joint that established you with me. And no disrespect, but I get hit all the time by people like, hey man, I got some music, man. Listen, check me out. I'm like, yo, dog, I'm a regular person, right? I'm just a guy, right? Just a guy. But since we have a platform and we reach out to a lot of people, are like, no lie. People will send stuff, like since I was talking to DSJ, I think maybe 60 or 70 people will send stuff like, hey man, I remember you from such and such, can you check this out, tell me what you think? And then you're like, okay, I gotta go get groceries anyway, I'll listen to it like on the way to Walmart or something. And I'm like, man, why the fuck did I listen to this? You know what I'm saying? Because some of it would be like, because in order for what people don't understand with a song, a song is like a baby bird, right? Too much of it, you'll squeeze it and kill it, right? And too not enough, it'll fall out of the nest and kill itself, right? And so you just got to give it just enough for it to blossom into. And so you sometimes, true, I don't know if you know this or not, but sometimes people will send me something and the beats, the drums will be hitting so hard that you can't even hear the singer.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, what is that a singer in the background?
Yep.
Right? Or you hear all this in the back. And you're like, did they record this in the airport? You know, it's like, so and no, real talk though, because people chasing their dream, but the thing that they put out, you like, hey, dog, you need to get a job, right? Or you'd be like, yo, y'all are whack, but that chick singing in the background, she got talent,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to hear that. Like,
chill still.
yeah. So it's just it's just like what people like prevent to you.
Well, we know we are well aware.
Yeah. And so
I just don't like having my time wasted. You know, when we sit there, I'm again, the whole dynamic of us together, individually and collectively, is always quality.
Put your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
If you're going to present something, present your best.
And if you're not going to do that, then don't get mad when I start trolling. Like when I start cracking jokes about what you bring to the table because you decided to come in with pasta salad. Like, fam, don't get mad at me because I'm not. I'm gonna go in on the pasta salad. I'm gonna crack all kind of jokes about your inability to cook.
Right.
Hey, listen, it is what it is.
Right.
Shout out to Cam and Mace.
Right. So, yeah. Salute to them. So just want to thank everybody for coming through and hanging out with us, whether you're watching this live or if you're watching this on replay. Please visit the QTD Music Patreon page. It's for these three guys, man. They do dope stuff. Of course, they're going to add content to it and grow it, right? And then, add content to it and grow it. And you might see part of this interview. There may be a snippet of it, right? Absolutely. Also, if you like to contribute to the guys, you know what to do that at. We're working on some things where if you want to be a part of the movement and help push this QTD thing forward, we're going to work on some options in order to get that popping for you, so that you can be a supporter of Quick Tempered True Music and the original Delano Steel, so that they can maneuver and put out the artistry that you guys that you like. Anything you want to say to the viewers out there before we wrap up?
Everything's appreciated, and just know that we in it because we love it. We want y'all to love it just as much as we love it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. I know I'm official True Music on IG and on all platforms.
I'm official Delano Steele Jr.
I'm Quick Tempered without the space, and it's QWICK.
Yeah. and y'all know who I am, the number one Chief Rocker in your ear, presenting y'all with dope content all the time. You're not getting real content if you're not getting it from here. You're not getting real content unless you're getting it from right here. And if I support somebody, they dope. Right? They dope. I'm not putting my name on anything that's trash. I know that from the giddy up. So
you got paid handsomely.
Yeah, and thank y'all for coming through and rocking. Appreciate y'all for listening. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, Follow these guys. We out of here, y'all. Thank you for watching. Peace, everybody.